I swear EA just hates the Anaheim Ducks. Welcome to the new Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome, everydayers. Thanks for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen every day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. I'm Kyle Kjer. I'm a lifelong Anaheim Ducks fan. I've spent multiple years covering collegiate sports, including college hockey. But today, like we always do over here, we're talking about the Anaheim Ducks on Locked On Ducks. We're locked on, and we're getting excited for the new season coming up. And you can tell we're getting closer and closer and closer to the preseason as we have gotten a bunch of announcements from EA about NHL 26. I don't know if you've seen the trailers or what has been announced so far. In my honest opinion, this is basically a $90 patch that they're trying to push on us. Am I going to get it? Absolutely, because why wouldn't I? And it's also included on EA Plus, but we'll talk about that later. The trailers so far just look like a bunch of roster upgrades, patches, some things that could have been tweaked honestly by the middle of last season. I don't think there's really anything game breaking about it. But today it brings us into what we're talking about here at the top. EA has been announcing their player rankings, including the top 10 centers, defensemen, goalies, all that stuff. And also we've got the top 10 Anaheim Ducks. We'll get into those and what I feel about that. But first, I wanted to get into the top 10 of all the different positions and just kind of give you where I'm at with my feedback and how I feel EA did. Honestly, I feel like EA, since basically NHL 20 came out, they are just recency bias, big name recognition. I feel like they don't really take into account any of the data that the NHL has. They're stating that they're implementing the new NHL Edge analytics system into the game. But if they did do that, I think they must have used some inadequate data or something, because some of the top 10s here are absurd. And when we get into the Ducks rankings, it's an absolute slap in the face. But let's get into the top 10 positions. Right now, I'm going to get into what I call the top 10 back end for all those different positions. Some pretty good names, obviously, in here, but we'll start with the left defenseman on the left side of the screen if you are on the YouTube. So if you are listening, I highly recommend checking out the YouTube so you can see what I am looking at. In the left defenseman category, top 10, we've got Quinn Hughes coming in at number 1, 95 overall. Pretty understandable there. Zach Werenski, 92 overall. Roman Josi at 92 overall. Number 4, Victor Hedman, also a 92 overall. And Rasmus Dahlin, a number 92 overall at number 5. A lot of 92s right there. Not really sure how they decided to split up other than possibly the name. I do love Zach Werenski as a defenseman. It's unfortunate that he's kind of stuck in this middling Columbus Blue Jacket organization, but I think he's going to get out pretty well. Victor Hedman, of course, definitely one of those big name defensemen out there. And then we got number 6, Miro Heiskanen, and a 91. Jacob Slavin, number 7 at 90. Josh Morrissey, number 8 at 90. Jake Sanderson, number 9 at 89 overall. And Gustav Forsling at number 10 at an 89 overall. Not a bad mix of players right there. On the defensive end, I don't really think you could have anyone breaking into this list except maybe a Charlie McAvoy. I feel like that is possibly a snug right there. He plays extremely well. He's a solid player for the Bruins. I think with the Bruins kind of middling season last year, that probably brought him down, but someone I would like to see in that list. Then we're moving on over to the goalies. We've got Connor Hellebuck coming in at number 1 with the 94 overall. Andrei Vasilevsky in second at 93 overall. Igor Shesterkin with a 92 overall. Ilya Sorokin comes in fourth at 91. Sergei Bobrovsky comes in fifth at a 90 overall. Jake Ottinger at 6, also a 90. Philip Gustafsson, 89. Thatcher Demko, 88. Husi Saros at 88. And coming in 10th, Darcy Kemper at an 87 overall. This is the category and group of players I definitely have beef with when it comes to EA's rankings. There are some goaltenders that absolutely deserve to be on this list. With what Dostal did, this we'll get into it more later, but looking at Dostal's package of work last year and the defense and lack of forward he had, like forward scoring, I should say, but everything that was in front of him, the fact that he's not an 88 overall is absurd. We'll get into what they ranked him in the next segment, but the fact that he is not on this list and the list ends at an 87 overall is beyond me. I really don't think they understand just how well Lukas Dostal did last year and how great of a goaltender he actually is. There's so many other goaltenders in the league that could be on this list. Darcy Kemper is the hard one for me to see as a top 10. I mean, Sergei Bobrovsky coming in at 5th when he's won back-to-back cups. His playoff performance is phenomenal. Connor Hellebuck is a wet blanket, or not even a wet. I'd say Bobrovsky's the wet blanket. Connor Hellebuck is the holy blanket when it comes to the playoffs. So not exactly sure where that rating comes into play when it comes to regular season versus playoffs. Andrei Vasilevsky's still up there at number 2. Shesterkin, I'm sorry, but I feel like Bob is definitely better than those 3 players right there that are ahead of him. So unfortunate there with the goaltending. Definitely a miss by EA. Then looking at the right defenseman, of course, first overall in the right defenseman category, we got Cale Makar at a 95 overall. Adam Fox comes in at a 90. Well, that's where Charlie McAvoy is. I am completely taking what I said back. I did not look at the right side. I'm an idiot. You can call it. I'm saying it right here. I'm dumb. We got Charlie McAvoy coming in at 89 at number 3. So I was right. He should be in the top 10, but I forgot it was left and right, not just all defensemen. That is my bad there. Evan Bouchard coming in at 88 in 4th place. Colton Parayko at 5th with an 88 overall. Moritz Seider at 6th place with an 88. Dougie Hamilton in 7th with an 88. John Carlsson in 8th place at 88. And Noah Dobson in 9th at 88. And Drew Doughty 10th place with an 88. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 88 overalls on the right defenseman category. Not, looking at some of these names, the fact that they're 88s overall on the right, and you've got Jacob Slavin as a 90 overall on the left. You've got Josh Morrissey as a 90 over there on the left. That's, again, I don't know who makes these rankings or how they do that, but those are some big names over there. Evan Bouchard as an 88 overall. I guess you could say his defense isn't the best as a defenseman, and he definitely is more of an offensive presence, but I think he definitely rates at least a 89 or a 90. I mean, come on now, EA. What are y'all doing? Now we're going to look at the forwards group here in the AA top 10 rankings of each position. So starting over on the left, and first we got Kirill Kaprizov at a 94, Matthew Tkachuk second with a 93, Artemi Panarin in third, 92, Kyle Connor fourth, 92. Jesper Bratt, 91. Alex Ovechkin, 6th at 90. Brandon Hagel, 7th at 90. And 8th place, Matthew Boldy at 89. 9th place, Brad Marchand at an 89. And 10th, Jake Gensel at 89 overall. Can't really complain about that list. Definitely like that there. I really want to know what it takes to get into the 90s for EA's ratings. I feel like there's a lot of players on all of these lists that deserve to be in the 90 category. And then you look at Connor McDavid at a 97. I mean, is that just because he's number 97? They just wanted to give him that. Like, what does it take to be a 98 or a 99 overall? If you're the best player, you've got all the aspects to your game, and you're not at a 99, it's not like we're asking for a 100 overall player, but 97, what? Okay. And coming in second in the center position, 96, Nathan McKinnon, and then Leon Draisaitl tied at 96 in third place. Fourth place, Alexander Barkov at a 95. And fifth place, Sidney Crosby at a 94. 6, Jack Eichel at a 94. 7, Austin Matthews at a 94. 8, Jack Hughes at a 93. 9th, Braden Point, 92. 10th, Mark Scheifele, 91. Again, you could kind of interchange Crosby at 5th, Eichel 6, Matthews at 7. I feel like that's just a name thing, like having Crosby up there. You could probably have Matthews or Eichel in 5th. You could really interchange those three guys. Jack Hughes at a 93, even with a kind of up and down injury season, pretty strong. I feel like that's just, again, expectations more so than anything. But I can't really complain overall with that list of centers. Then looking at the top 10 right wingers, we got in first place Nikita Kucherov, 96. David Pasternak in second at a 94. I mean, give the guy a 95. Gosh darn, he basically had to carry the entire Bruins team and then got all of his line mates ripped away from him. In third place, Mikko Rantanen at a 93. Fourth, Sam Reinhart at a 93. Fifth, William Nylander at a 92. Sixth, Mitch Marner at a 92. Seventh, Clayton Keller at a 90. 8, Lucas Raymond at an 89. Ninth, Kirill Marchenko at 89. That is surprising. And 10th, Mark Stone at 89. So, interesting names on this list, and the fact that you have someone like Kirill Marchenko as the 9th right winger in the entire league, when maybe I'm just not paying attention to Columbus enough, but I've never even heard of that guy. I feel like there's a lot of snubs this year in the top 10s for each position. Again, EA up to some weird stuff with their rankings, but who am I? I'm just the guy talking about what they're doing. So take it with a grain of salt. Those are the top lists there for each position according to EA NHL. Go hit them up on Twitter. Let them know how you feel. I mean, obviously comment in my section as well. Tell me how you feel about that. Not a single Duck on those lists. And if you saw, most of those lists ended in the 87 territory. So obviously that shows the Ducks, not even one single player in the 90s. And we'll get into their top 10 Ducks and what they gave them for rankings right after this. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they are worth. Whether it's the 401ks, properties, or investments, and when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. With Monarch Money, it puts up all of my subscriptions, my different accounts, everything that I got going on, so I can see it and I'm not confused and I know where all my money is going. It's so convenient. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks, people. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. We have an important request. We have a new request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We put together a survey to learn more about our listeners, that's you, and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcasts.com/survey to get started. That's right, with an S. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's Locked On Podcasts with an S at the end.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. There's a QR code on the screen. Thanks for helping us out. And now it's time to get into where EA NHL 26 has the Ducks ranked thus far. Obviously, the season hasn't started, so these are kind of based off of last year's numbers, but with how things are looking in regards to next season, I still think they could have given some of the guys a little bit of a bump, but let's take a look now. Oh my, that's not even the right one. We need to remove that. There we go. Now you are on the right screen. If you're looking on the YouTube, things are not working with me technology today. But now here we are. We're looking at the top 10 Anaheim Ducks according to NHL 26 preseason rankings. So the first player on the list for Anaheim is Mikael Granlund. He is ranked 99th overall in the entire league, and he is given an 87 overall in his player ranking, with an 87 in offense, 86 defense, I believe. Let me get those categories, as I had them right here, and now I don't have them in my view. Apparently, I cut it off way too much when I trimmed it. Let's see here what those categories are so I can better explain them for you. Thank you for your patience. Like I said, technology not in my favor today. The Wednesday jitters, you know how it is. You know how it is, everybody. So we got Mikael Granlund at a 99 overall. Or sorry, not overall. He's ranked 99th out of all players right now. So he is an 87 overall. His acceleration is an 87. His speed is an 86. Deking 91. Passing 91. His slap shot power is at an 87, and his wrist shot power 87. So Mikael Granlund is the number one player on the Ducks roster as of now with an 87 overall. The fact that he's the top guy on this roster, I can see that. He did really, really well in Dallas, but only being at an 87 overall, kind of a slap in the face for the rest of the team. Then we can move into whoever's next, and that's Jacob Trouba. He is ranked 137th in the league, apparently tied with Troy Terry, who's also 137th. But we've got them at an 86 each. Jacob Trouba's acceleration is an 82. His speed is an 82. Deking 82. Passing 84. Slap shot 88. And wrist shot power 88. Troy Terry, he's got a 91 acceleration. So a little bit more get up and go than Trouba. 89 on the speed. His deking is at a 91. passing 89, slap shot power 87, and wrist shot power 87. So not as good of a shot, but pretty decent on the other categories. Then we're looking at Jackson Lacombe, which I find extremely surprising that he is not higher than Jacob Trouba. Again, I think EA has this tendency to just use name recognition when it comes to where they put players at, because Jackson Lacombe is definitely a much better defenseman than Trouba, in my opinion. His acceleration, he's an 85 overall at the 189th. So apparently Jackson Lacombe, Lukasz Dostal, and Mason McTavish are both 189th place out of all players, but Jackson's at an 85 with an 89 acceleration, 88 speed, 89 deking, 88 passing. His slap shot power is an 88, and his wrist shot power is an 88. So he literally has all of his categories are higher than Jacob Trouba, but somehow he's an 85 overall. So you do the math, everybody. You do the math. And then Lukasz Dostal having an 85 overall as a goaltender is absolutely a slap in the face. Slap in the face. EA, I don't know what it is about you and why you are so against the Ducks every year. I feel like the ratings are just terrible for Anaheim players, but 85, 89 acceleration, 88 speed, 89 deking. Or sorry, I'm looking at Jackson Lacombe here, but Lukasz Dostal, it's kind of weird because obviously he is a goaltender, so these categories don't fit in the goalie rankings, but apparently he's got 85 speed and his passing is 81. So that's pretty good for a goaltender, 81. But 85 overall for the goaltending of Lukasz Dostal is absolutely absurd. I'm saying he should be an 88 at least. 88 at least. Looking at the rest of the names on that list, come on, 88 with what he has done the last 2 years for how young he is going to be probably one of the biggest bumps in ratings next game, I guess in 27, unless they do mid-season updates, because 85 is just laughable. Mason McTavish then coming in at an 85. He's got 87 acceleration, 85 speed, 88 deking. Passing is an 88, and his slap shot 90, and wrist shot power also at 90. Not too bad. That makes kind of sense for Mason McTavish. He did have the most goals on the team. 90 is pretty decent for that slap shot and wrist shot. Didn't really see Mason McTavish take too many slap shots last year, but that one timer he tried to get off on the power play, I could see his numbers going up if they can actually incorporate him well on the power play this year. And then Chris Kreider coming in at 239th out of all the other players, with tied with Cutter and Leo Carlsson. I am shooketh. I mean, at least Mikael Granlund, Jacob Trouba, Troy Terry, Mason McTavish, Chris Kreider, Leo Carlsson, Radko Gudas, all of those guys at least have X factors. Cutter Gauthier not coming in with an X factor, kind of beyond me. Lukasz Dostal without an X factor, way beyond me. Lacombe without an X factor. I mean, he's got to have at least the quick stick. That guy can literally rip the puck off of anybody. His pickpocketing ability is insane. So the fact he doesn't have that, also beyond me. But you can see the rest of the rankings here. We got Cutter Gauthier and as an 84. Kreider's at an 84, Leo Carlsson 84, and Radko Gudas at 84. So all of those guys coming in respectively at 84s. Again, I think Anaheim completely got snubbed. EA is just out to get us. They hate us because they ain't us. I don't know. Maybe they're miserable wherever their studios are, and they're just jealous that we get to sit in the beautiful Orange country and Orange County, enjoying the sun and the beautiful sunsets, this heat wave we've been going on. Fact that we can go hit up the beach and then go to some NHL hockey for pretty much most of the year. I could see why you'd be jealous of that. But we got to look into whether or not the Ducks are going to put the league on notice next year. I think so, and we'll get into why right after this. The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Why do I love using FanDuel? Well, let me tell you, I can get into basically any sport I want and have something to pay attention to, whether it's basketball that I'm not really a big fan of, baseball, there's so many games, but I'm not really sure what's going on. I get into FanDuel, it makes me want to actually pay attention to whatever is on the TV, whether I'm at a restaurant, a bar, I'm hanging out with friends, whatever we're watching, it just works. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting fanduel.com to get started. That's fanduel.com to place your first $5 bet. So, as I said before the break, is it finally time for the Anaheim Ducks to become noticed again by the rest of the league? They had their run in the early 2000s. We were very spoiled as fans with how many playoff runs and deep playoff runs Anaheim had in the early 2000s, kind of into the teens, and then it started to fade away. And we've been out of it for a while. Hey, at least we've won a playoff series, but more recently than the LA Kings. And the LA Kings have been in the playoffs pretty much every year since we haven't been in the playoffs. So we can at least tout that in our little rivalry across the five. But that's only locally. What about the rest of the league? What is it going to take for the NHL and the rest of the fans out there and the rest of these fan bases to really recognize that Anaheim is a powerhouse again? Well, I think the Ducks are absolutely taking that right step. They are going to be a team that they might get to sneak in and kind of be underestimated. I think that the rest of the league is already on notice, especially with how the players have been playing in the recent era. And, there's the inner conversation, like, especially during the offseason, hockey players are a close niche group. There's so many crossovers during the offseason where players from different teams are hanging out because they either grew up playing juniors together, college, whatever it is. So, guys are talking. And obviously, the the expectations of Anaheim last year were very low, but they had the increase in points, and that was hugely due to Lukas Dostal. But you had Jackson Lacombe stepping up, Cutter Gauthier and Leo Carlsson finally started getting their clicks there at the end of the season. Mason McTavish comes in, leads the team in goals. Troy Terry leads the team in points. So there is a good, solid foundation for this team. But then the players are recognizing that talent is definitely coming to Anaheim, and that is behind the bench. Talent recognizes talent, and everything aside, all of these players recognize how good of a coach Joel Quenneville was and can be. So I think other staffs are kind of taking note. They're definitely going to be anticipating a different Ducks squad this year. And it's really up to the guys to adjust to the new coaching and to recognize that they're on notice in a sense that it's not going to be as easy because now the centers know how good Leo Carlsson and Mason McTavish are. You have the defensemen who know how quickly Cutter Gauthier can get up to speed. You know where the strengths are for this team. We do have some new mix-ups in the roster. That is for Anaheim with Chris Kreider coming in, Mikael Granlund. So that's going to be a huge mix. Obviously, there's still time for trades and everything to really get shaken up as the team gets together in camp. Obviously, I don't think they're going to make a trade like day one of the season, but depending how things go with different signings and who becomes available or what the league looks like by the end of the trade deadline, that's way, way, way ahead. But I think this team has this possibility to really be a powerhouse again. And I think teams are going to start marking Anaheim Ducks on their calendars, on their schedule. They're going to recognize, all right, we got to go out to Orange County, or we've got the Ducks coming into our barn. We've got to be alert. These guys are going to bring it. And I think this all stems from that coaching staff. You got Quenneville as the head coach, Jay Woodcroft coming in to help with the power play, Ryan McGill going in and helping out with the penalty kill. He is an absolute wizard when it comes to PKs. Andrew Brewer coming in, Tim Army's there, Peter Budaj as the goaltending coach. He is a goalie whisperer as well. And now that he has Dostal locked in, Peter Mrazek, I think there's going to be a massive Czechia explosion. Radko Gudas is all healed up from his injury. He's been training with someone that I've actually gotten the privilege to train with in Maxwell. There's just a lot going on for this team and a lot of things to look forward to. And I think you look at the rankings that NHL gave the Ducks this year, and they're going to be totally different next year. They're going to have players in the 90s. They're going to have players in the high 80s. I really think that this is the last year of the Ducks kind of being snubbed and not looked at. With Jackson Lacombe heading out to the Olympics orientation camp, I don't see why he wouldn't make the Olympic roster. Even if he's not one of the mainstays, I think he's going out there to be a supporting role out there, in case injuries or whatever. But I see him donning the USA red, white, and blue in the Olympic Village coming next winter in February. So a lot of good things coming for Anaheim. I definitely am extremely excited for the preseason that's about to begin, looking into rookie camp. Everything's coming together. So tell me what you think. I mean, we've talked about the EA NHL 26 top 10 for all the different positions. We talked about where the Ducks top 10 are in EHL or EA NHL. I don't know why I keep saying EA EHL in Chell. We went over that, and then looking at how these guys are going to step into this new light and really put the league on notice. Tell me what you think about it. You can reach out to me at cartalksports.com/connect. Send me your concerns. Send me your questions, any topics you want covered before we really get this season underway, and even topics that you would like covered once the season starts. It's going to be a whole new year, a whole new look. First year for me to be covering the Ducks for Locked On. I'm super excited to get an entire season underway with you guys and every step of the way. So let me know what you think. I appreciate all of your feedback, and I cannot wait to see you at either Great Park Ice or the Honda Center. Please come and say hi once things started. But like I said, we broke down the EHL 26 rankings, the EA NHL. I am just going to stop trying to say that word. The Ducks top 10, how they're going to be looking. So let me know. Let's get into it. And I have to tell you, it is another big moment on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversations alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson. That's right. Former college star Jesse Holy, oh my holy Lord, and Locked On's NHL experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. Make sure you go like and subscribe to all of your favorite Locked On content, and especially the Locked On Ducks YouTube. That's the Locked On Anaheim Ducks YouTube. And wherever you listen to podcasts, just keep tuning in. Cannot wait to spend the next season with you guys. As always, I'm Kyle Kjer. Be good out there.